Today we are going to be taking our minerals unit test. You can follow along on the screen or you can follow along on the test in front of you. And let's begin. Question 1. A mineral must be inorganic, which means that it contains either A, compounds, or D, no living things. Again, if a mineral must be inorganic, does inorganic mean it must contain compounds, or does inorganic mean that it must contain no living things? You can pause the video if needed after any question. We are moving on to question number 2. Question number 2. The color of a mineral's powder, so the powder that we got from lab on the plates, is that called a streak or is that called the luster? Again, the powder that comes off of the mineral, is that called a streak or is that called, letter B, a luster? Number 3. Magma that cools very slowly deep beneath the surface forms minerals with type of crystals that are small or that are large. So if I have magma below the surface that is very deep below the surface, will the crystals be small or will the crystals be large if it's deep below the surface? Number 4. A rock that contains a metal or other economically useful mineral is called ore, or is it called a crystal? Again, for number 4, I have a rock that contains a metal or a useful mineral. Is an ore a metal or useful mineral, or is a crystal a metal or useful mineral? Again, pause the video when needed. Question number 5. A rare, colorful mineral with a brilliant luster and a hardness of 8 or 9 on the mole's hardness scale would probably be used as an alloy or a gemstone. For question 5, we're really looking at the first part of the question. We don't need to really know the hardness at all. I just want you to know, what is it called if I have a rare, colorful mineral? Is a rare, colorful mineral an alloy or is it a gemstone? Number 6. I have earth-moving equipment that is scraping away soil to expose ore. Is that called strip mining or is that called shaft mining? Again, I have equipment scraping away layers of soil. Is that called strip mining or is that called shaft mining? Number 7. After miners remove the ore from a mine, so after they take out all the ore, what process do they need to do to remove the metal from that ore? When we remove the metal, we have the melted metal, and then we have the other stuff, the slag that we don't want, that we drew in the picture. Do you remember, was that process called smelting or was that called crystallization? So when I remove the metal to get the melted metal and the slag, is that called smelting or is that called crystallization? Number 8. What is the hardest known mineral? Is the hardest known mineral quartz or is the hardest known mineral a diamond? I'll repeat that one more time. What is the hardest known mineral? A quartz or a diamond? That is the end of page 1. Again, pause at any time. We are moving on to page 2. Question 9. Question 9. Which type of mine often has a network of tunnels that extend deep into the ground following the veins of ore? An open pit mine or a shaft mine? Again, what type of mine has all those tunnels underground? Is that open pit mining or is that shaft mining? Question 10. The term used to describe how a mineral reflects light from the surface is its density or its luster. So what term do we use to describe how shiny a mineral is? Is that the density of the mineral or is that the luster? Number 11. I have a mixture of 2 or more metals. Is that an ore or is that an alloy? So this mixture, this solid mixture for number 11 only contains metals. Is this metal mixture called ore or is this metal mixture called an alloy? Question 12. Although cement, bricks, steel, and glass all come from substances found in the Earth's crust, they are not classified as minerals because they are not naturally occurring or they have many uses. So why would cement, brick, steel, and glass not be a mineral? Would they not be a mineral because they are not naturally occurring? Or would they not be a mineral because they have many uses? Question 13. When geologists say that a mineral always contains certain elements in definite proportions, so in solid proportions, they mean that the mineral has a definite chemical composition or that the mineral is only solid. So for number 13, when a scientist says that a mineral always has elements in certain positions, is the scientist saying that the mineral has a definite chemical composition? Or is the scientist saying that the mineral is solid? Question 14. Dolomite has a chemical formula written as CaMgCO3 2. How many total atoms are in this compound? So I not only want how many elements, but how many atoms. For this problem, I'm going to write out all the different elements that I have. Ca, because that C was capital. Mg, because the M is capital. I have a C, and I have an O. Your job now is to try to figure out how many of each of these elements I have in my formula. How are we going to do this? We're going to look at the little numbers. So there's a 2 here and a 3 here, but remember this 2 is special. All right. I would pause the video now and try to figure out how many of each element we have in our mineral, and then continue on. Last question on page 2 is question number 15. What mineral group does dolomite belong to? So again, dolomite is the mineral listed above. Is dolomite an oxide? So it contains an oxygen, an O. But if it's an oxide, it cannot contain a CO3 or SO4. Or is dolomite a carbonate? That means it has to contain a CO3. Again, is dolomite, which is the equation here, does that contain an oxide, which is it has an oxygen, but it does not have CO3 and CO4? Or is it a carbonate, which means it must contain at least one CO3 group. Pause the video at any time. We are moving on to page 3. This page is all about the reading. All the answers will be in the reading. I will read the questions out loud for you today. Question 16. The 4 C's of diamonds include all the following except what? Cut, clarity, carat, spelled like the food, or color. Which one of these 4 is not included in the 4 C's of diamonds from the reading packet? Cut, clarity, carat, spelled like the food, or color. Question 17. When there is no place of weakness in a diamond to cut it, the jeweler must bruise the diamond, the jeweler must saw the diamond, the jeweler must cleave the diamond, or the jeweler must lathe the diamond. All these terms are bolded in the reading. When there is no place of weakness in a diamond to cut, the jeweler must bruise the diamond, saw the diamond, cleave the diamond, or lathe the diamond.